all these parameters, how can we use and how can we give the contents, how we communicate between one screen to another screen. Also, these are the topics we are discussing in yesterday's class, yesterday's sessions, right? And did you all complete the task? Okay. So, and I already seen that so many of them are complete your task and like uploading it into a LinkedIn. I seen so many of them are posting it in a LinkedIn. Those who are not completed, try to complete by today. And whatever you are building or whatever the project you are working, you just post it in the LinkedIn. Every each and step. And today we just move on with another pathway or another code lab that is of adapt for different screen sizes. Like until here, you are you are building so many projects, right? There's so many like you are building so many apps that single screen apps, multiple screen apps, so many apps you are building. All the UIs you are working, right? But you are not checking that how if we are changing the size of the windows or if we are changing the portrait mode to the landscape mode, how it looks. Is it in the landscape also or in any other screen size? It is looking good or not? It is working correct or not? We are not checking that one, right? Every time we are using the Pixel 6 or 7 emulator. In your Android Studio, you are using the emulator for the Pixel 6 or 7, right? Otherwise, if you are they are connected to the directly connected to your mobile, whatever the size of your mobile, it will be only showing that way. So today we will just learn the things like in this code lab, you will learn how to adapt your app to different screen sizes and provide a better user experiences and testing these apps UI screens. So in this code lab, we will learn these things. So we just move on the code lab. Just a second, I will share my screen. As I do, like I am playing one video. Like in this collab, there is two videos will be there. I'm just playing one important thing, one important video that adaptive layouts. My screen is visible, right? Okay. So we just like I will play and let me know that it is audible or not. The video is audible, right? Okay.
Hi, I'm Rob, Developer Relations Engineer on the Android platform, focusing on large screens. Previously, you learned how to build apps with multiple screens, and now you learn how to make each of these screens adaptive. What is an adaptive layout? Adaptive layouts are layouts that change in shape, dimensions, and content, reacting to input from users, devices, and screen elements. As you might have noticed, adaptive UI evolved from responsive UI. While responsive UI take care of repositioning elements based on different screen sizes, adaptive layouts also support multiple window sizes and displays with a more continuous change. For example, you could see a responsive layout like a layout that works well on portrait or landscape in full screen mode, while an adaptive layout is more closely matched to a window on a desktop computer. No matter how it gets resized, it will always work. Moreover, an adaptive layout can span across multiple screen sizes without too much code written from you. Why are adaptive layouts important? Android can run on a variety of devices with different sizes, shape, density, and use cases. Not only phone and tablets, but also foldables, TVs, and cars. Adaptive layouts give you a clean way to make the same app work on each of these devices. There are a lot of things to keep in mind when designing adaptive layouts. The amount of screen real estate your app might have is very different, and the interaction your users expect on a specific surface is key to get this right. For instance, Larger screen, place action button or navigation closer to the side of the window for ergonomic reasons. Another thing worth remembering is that with newer version of Android, configuration changes such as rotation, app running in multi-window mode, or user switching from software to hardware keyboard or stylus will be much more frequent, so you will learn how to handle this situation as well. Bear in mind that multi-window, stylus, and hardware keyboards are important reasons why your users might choose tablets or foldables. Last but not least, adaptive layouts also mean that content should be displayed in different ways based on the space your app has on the screen. Remember, it might run in full screen or in a small portion of it. Let's check some examples of adaptive layouts and solutions. There are currently three common patterns for information design for large screens, namely canonical layouts. 1. If your app has a list of items that brings on a detail when you are on a phone, the content can be arranged in two panes for larger screens. This form of interaction is known as list detail layout. 2. There is the supporting panel for a relationship of focus and support, like a video with its related or next playing videos. And 3. The feed, which can come in very handy for news or social media. You can find more about it on the Material Tree website. How can you implement all of this? Before we jump into it, there is something else you should know. We identified three buckets in which every app window is categorized, based on how much space it has, vertically or horizontally. These breakpoints help you develop layouts that adapt to the amount of space you currently have for your app on any screen. This is particularly useful for tablets, where multiple apps can run in multi-window mode and you need to react to the amount of space your app has on the screen. Of course, there is a library for this. Window size classes are an API that divide the window in three opinionated buckets: compact, medium, and expanded, and they work for both width and height of the window. With this API, you'll be able to understand how much space your app has on the screen, and it will be much easier to adapt your UI to every window size. These and much more will be covered in this pathway. Buckle up, it's time to get started.
So in this video, they are just explaining that how you can adjust your screen, like what screen you are choosing, how you are adapting, like adjusting these layouts, those things. We just move on with the code lab. We can deeply learn the things in that. Okay, so the build an adaptive app with the dynamic navigation. So this in this code lab, you will learn the things like how to create the navigation between the screens without using this navigation graph. Yesterday we are discussing how we can using these navigations, right? How we can communicate between one screen to another screen while using this now host controller, now graphs. So many things we are discussing. So without using those parameters or without using those methods, how we can communicate or now navigate between the screens is like we are learning that one thing and the creating adaptive navigation layout using the Jetpack Compose. Then third one is on how to create a custom back handler. Like custom back handler, yesterday also for yesterday's app also we are adding the back button, right? So as it is, we here also have to add the button like a back handler. So these topics we will learn in this code lab. We just go with the app overview. So the replay app. This is what you have to build in this code lab. Like in today's task also, you have to build this one, the replay app. So in this app, you just you can see here they are given the output of your app here. So this app is just like as a resembling the email. We are using the email, right? So when you open that one, our profile will be shown, and some of the mails will be seen one by one. Some of the mails or the messages will be seen when we open that one screen, right? Home page. So here also the same thing happens. Here also you just seeing some messages with the different contacts and your profile picture or profile or the settings page, whatever you are calling. And the last thing is this navigation bar. This is the navigation bar. Here you can see. So this is the navigation bar. So these are all the things you have to add in your app, and how can you add these things and all other features, how you are adding, we will let you know in this code lab. So this is just a starter code. You can download and start your coding. Here they are given some walkthrough of the starter code, how you can get the starter code in your main activity and how you can alter the things. So you can see here, like in the UI part, you can see that 7 files will be there. Replay app, replay detail screen, home content, home screen, UI state, and the view model. The last one is of the main activity. So these are the screens, or these are the files we have to create. It is only so in this replay app, it is only having the 2 screens. One is of the home page, whichever you are seeing. The another one is of when you particularly open one mail ID, like one mail, whatever the message it is displaying, it will the displaying in the another screen, right? So it is having only 2 screens, but for adding the functionalities, it is taking the so many files. So for building this reply app, how to create these 7 files. The next is of how you can initialize the data in your reply app. So first thing, for initializing the data, you have to do it in the view model only. Like we are storing the data. Initializing, like we are adding the data or we are storing the data, right? So it has to be done in the view model KT only. So here you can see initialize the UI state. We are initializing the UI. And in that, they will just given the content. So this whatever this lines you are seeing here, right? I am selecting the things. So whatever the lines here there are, these are the contents which will be in the your screen. Like your screen or your home page will be look like a mailbox type, and you can see the local mails and the data which we have provided. And when you selected one current, select emails, so it will be open in another screen. So these are the things they are given in this initialization, and in a view model they are storing the things. Okay, the next is of a screen level composable. So how you can create your screens. In the reply app.kt, you are creating your screens. So for creating the screens, you are calling the reply app function, and all the data will be stored in the view model. How to call the view model, and we have to attach the view model file to this reply app. So they are just using those things. After that, for creating the home screen, reply home screen. For creating that one, so what are the functionalities and what are the objects, what are the elements it have, it should be mentioned here, the content. Well, first is of when you open Aranta pressed, it will be looking like a mailbox type. In the view model, all the data related to the mailbox type will be the updated current mailbox, or other things will be stored in the view model. The other thing is of when you click on the particular mail, like on email card pressed, click on one particular contact, it will be open and all the data will be stored in the view model. The next on detail screen back pressed, you are opening the one email message, right? So you have to go back to the home screen, right? for the previous page, you have to go back. So you just click on that back button. So all these things you are mentioning in your app, in your reply app, you will mentioning all the things like what and all the objects or the elements you are adding in your screen. You have to mention all the things. After that, you're just adding the modifier or these things every time it is common. So as it is in a reply app, there are so many composables will be there. Home screen, home content, and the detail screen. For these composables, you will add another informations related to this reply app. We will knowing in the next slide. Here, like until here, we are knowing that how to create the screens, right? What and all the objects or the elements we are added, we are already mentioned. We are initializing the data already, and we are already creating our screen. So the next is of change the screens without the navigation graph. Okay. Like I have one request. Just don't unnecessarily raise your hands. Don't raise your hands. So I just thought of like someone is giving me any notification and all these things, but you just raising the hands. It will distracted. Okay. So the next slide is of change screens without navigation graph. So as I already told you, right, without using this now host controller, we can communicate between one screen to another screen. So in yesterday's class, we are having one syntax, right? Now host, and the next is of now controller, start destination, and then the content will be displayed, like content will be given. So this is the syntax of the now host. So we are using this syntax, and as it is, we are mentioning the data, are mentioning like we are designing our code. But here, but here you will use that as an if else statement. Instead of using this now host or the now controller, you are using the if else statement. Okay, here they are given, or here just they are asking for if. Okay, you can see reply home screen. So this is the another one composable. Here also they are just mentioning all the contents. In every screen, they are mentioning all the contents. Reply UI state, what's the UI state, on tap pressed, email card pressed, and on detail screen back pressed. So these are the things we are mentioning in the reply app.kt also, right? So that's it. Those things you have to mention here also. And for displaying or visibling the screens, you are using this if else statements. Like we are calling the if statement with showing the home page. First thing, when we open the app, it will be showing the home page. So we are calling this if statement, and we were just explaining every content here. We are mentioning every contents of the home page and all these things. If in case if the home page is not open, it will be open with the detail screen, reply detail screen. It will be open the reply detail screen. And you are already know that, right? How these if else statements or the if else conditions will work. So instead of using this now controller or a now graph, we are using this if else conditions or the if else statements. The next is of adding the back handler. When you particularly opening the messages, it will be open in a new page or new screen, right? So in that, you just added this back handler composable and back pressed. When you click on or when you press that one, it should be going back. That's it. This is so simple. Yesterday also we are discussing the same thing here, right? So you just add the back handler and give the functionality to that button. That's it. So the next is of run app and app and the large screen devices. So until here, we are creating the screens, and also without using this navigation bar, we are communicate between one screen to another screen, and also added the back handler, right? So next is whatever you built, right? Whatever the like you are building this reply app, you have to check that like run it in a larger screens. Larger screens means not like you are not choosing any other laptops or not that thing. In your Android Studio, there are so many options, right? In the emulator, there are so many pixels will be there. Or in a category also, there are so many options: tablet, phone, laptop, desktop, TV. So many options will be there. So you just use the things. We will see in this slide. First thing, you already know how to selecting this emulator, right? First thing, you have to go to the device manager and click on the create virtual device, and here you have to select, right? So here you can see category, in categories, phone, tablet, wear OS, desktop, TV. So options will be there, and some pixels options also here. When we started running our app in the emulator, I'm just telling you to choose the Pixel 6 or the 7. You're continuing with that one, right? So here you can just change the pixels. Otherwise, you just change the category. Instead of phone, you just select this tablet. So it will be a larger screen. The tablet will be a larger screen. And related to the tablet, you will select one pixel and run your app. While selecting the pixels, while after selecting the pixels, make sure the system image should be in the upside down cake with the API level of 34. Version of the Android 14.0. The Android version of the Google APIs is of Android 14.0. Normally, it is in a vanilla ice cream or some other release names. So make sure you will change it as an upside down cake API level of 34 version Android 14.0. So this is what you have to select. And when you click on the finish, if you are choosing the tablet, it will be asking for the setup orientation, portrait or the landscape. It is asking for the portrait or the landscape. You just select anything. In a tablet, if your the category we should be in a tablet, you can select anything. You just try to run your app with the both orientations. Once you run with the portrait and once you run with the landscape. So you can check your UI will work with any size. So this will be helpful for you only. They are just given the example output of when you choose the tablet in the display mode. So this is the screen when you selecting as in portrait the tablet. The tablet should be in the portrait orientation. It should be looking like this. Your navigation bar will be seeing in the left side. And for this also, it is having some name. I will tell you in the next slide. So you just see that this navigation bar will be in the left side, and all the informations like all the emails, contacts, messages will be seen here. So this is the portrait version. For the landscape version, it will be looking like this. And for portrait and landscape, you can see the difference in the navigation bar. Here it is not showing any labels. It is not showing any labels, but here it is showing the labels for inbox, sent, draft, or the spam, right? So here, like this is what like you can create, build your app, and after that, when you created, like when you sometimes in your laptops or in some tablets, you are using the multiple screens. We are splitting the screens, we're splitting the tabs. So all this happens, right? And while designing also, it will be your window size will be larger. It will be looking like this. So all the navigation bar and the contacts, and also when you click on the particular messages, it will be showing in your right side. The details of that message also showing in the right side. So check with every options. Okay, just don't, okay, I will check with landscape and a portrait, that's enough. No, you just check with every options. So it is working like your UI will set for adapting for every sizes. So the next is of make your layout adapt to the different screen sizes. Now you can know that how you can make your layout to be fitted for every different screen sizes. Okay, sorry for that. Here they are given the sizes, window size classes, compact, medium, expanded. They are given the breakpoints also. You can see width for compact, how much width is there, and for medium and expanded, how it is looking. This is of width, and they are given the height also. So these are the breakpoints they are given for compact, medium, and expanded. So this is of Windows size class. So this breakpoints is of Windows size class. So how you can add your Windows size class to your code? First thing, you have to add in dependencies for your build Gradle KTS. For adding this Windows size class or calling this Windows size class, you have to add in dependencies for your build Gradle KTS for app module only. And after that, you have to mention this calculate Windows size class. Calculate this Windows size class in your set content. You can see here, they are mentioning this. And this word is looking like an out of box, right? So we are not describing what it is. This calculate Windows size class, we are not describing that one. So it is not showing any errors because we are already importing that word. Here we are importing that word, but we are not describing this what's this word is. This calculate Windows size class, what's this word working on, or any other thing we are not disclosing. We are just importing that one and we are using these things. So it will not show when you try to run, it is not showing any errors, but you can't install your app in your phone or in your emulator. In that time, it is showing that some warnings. Some warnings it is showing. So at that time, you will just use this command option into for experimental material 3 Windows size class API. You just use this command, so it will be helpful. Like it is, this command will tell you that it is just an experimental running. That's it. It is telling that one, so it will be helpful for you to run your code. Okay, you use this command. Okay, so for selecting the Windows size class, for selecting this Windows size class, you just in the reply app window size or window width size class, we are mentioning that one, and after that we are adding the modifiers also. The next, you have to select the thing like which window width size class you are using, compact, medium, or the expanded. You have just mentioned with the dot compact. So this is what they are using here. Otherwise, okay, you are not interested with selecting one. Like you want, you have to adjust for every time. You can't change the code for every screens, right? So for that, for calling all the window size widths, like window size classes, you just use this when statement or the if else statements also you can use. Here they are using the when statement. We are already know where we using this when statement. Like there are more options, where more options will be there. We are using the when statement, right? So here we are having the options of the compact, medium, and expanded. So we are using the when statement here for selecting these window sizes. So either one will running when you run your apps, right? The next is of implement adaptive navigation layout. So the last thing is of adding this navigation bar. So adding these navigation items. So when you selected the compact, it should be a bottom navigation. When you select the compact width, width, it should be a bottom navigation bar. Bottom navigation bar is of this way. In your mobiles, you are using the screen. In the bottom of your screen, it should be seeing. So this is the bottom navigation bar. And if you are selecting the medium width, it should be a navigation rail. Navigation rail means it's your navigation bar should be seeing in the left side of your page. When we see this run, right, when we run our app in the tablet portrait mode, we are seeing this one without labels. So it will be given with like one by one icons will be shown. So this is the navigation rail. If you are selecting the expanded, it should be looking like a permanent navigation rail. With labels, it should be seen. So these are the three types of navigation bar you can add. So for adding these things, for adding this navigation bar for your code or for your UI screens also, you just as it is, how can you select or how can you mention these window sizes, right? While using the when statement or the if else statements, as it is, first thing you just do that, adding these three navigation bar to the enum class. You just add three bar navigation names to that enum class. After that, you just make sure while calling this when statement, you will mention this navigation type. You can see here they are mentioning the when statement here. Windows size, they're choosing the compact. For the compact, the navigation type is for the bottom navigation bar. For a medium, it will the type should be a navigation rail. So as it is, you just mention every types. So like this, you can add all the types. If in case you are not running any of these window sizes, like in compact, medium, expanded, you are not using these three window sizes, it should be else, right? So if you are not using those three, it will showing the bottom navigation will be showing in the the navigation bar should be showing in the bottom navigation only. It should be bottom navigation. So they are just given every so they just given every screen how you can add these window sizes and the types, how you can design your code. They are given the examples here for every screen. Reply home screen, in the home screen, what and all the content, what and all the things you have to add, you can add like here. So this is what you have to create in this code lab. The next is of just and solution code. If you want, we just go through with an and then conclusion. So in this code lab, there is another one code lab will be there, that is an build an app with an adaptive layout. Here you don't need to add any, like you are not building any other project or any other app. You just building this reply app, right? So for that reply app only, you just add some things. I will just briefly tell you this code lab because it is so simple here. The thing is, for whatever the project you have created, right, with the reply app. So in that, just add the preview part with the different screen sizes. In your code, after you are calling this composable, like after applying this annotation, composable annotation, after calling this function, you have to add the preview part, right? At the last, we are adding this preview part. So while you are adding this preview part, you just mention the window width size. Here they are mentioning the medium. If you want, you can mention any other window size also, and check how your preview will looks in the large screen or in a different screen sizes. You just check with that. And the next is of implementing adaptive content layout. As I told you, like we will just check with different portrait or the landscape or with the different categories. Next is a verify for the different screen sizes. Check with the multiple pixels, check with the multiple categories, and add the different type of bottom navigation navigation bar also, otherwise the window size. Just verify those things, whatever the like whatever the functionality, whatever the options you are choosing, right? In the pixels or otherwise in the window size, you just verify is it working. And in the last, you just write and test code. Just write and test code for checking your reply app. Add a automated test for this adaptive apps. You have to write and test code for testing this reply app. That's it. So in this code lab, you have to do these things only. This is all simple works, right? So that's why I'm just briefly tell you what you have to do in this code lab. So these are the things you have to do, and then there is nothing in this code lab. So here we just completed the two code labs. One is a building adaptive app with the dynamic navigation and adaptive layouts, app building with adaptive layouts. Right. So in this code lab, we have to similarly create building this reply app and check that it is working or not. So this is how what your task in these two code labs. After that, they are given the another two practice code labs here. You have to do by your own, but you can just ignore this create my city app. You, if you want to try, you can try, otherwise you just ignore. For today's task, you have to build this sports app. For the practice app, how to build this sports app. For today's task, you have to complete these two things. One is of building this reply app, and another one is of build a sports app. So this is what you have to complete, and this is the today's task. I will share this link, CodeLab link in the screen, like in the chat. Just give me a second. Okay. Okay. Already share this link in the chat. You just save the link for completing your task. Don't ignore like why should I do this collabs, like why should I practice these things. Don't ignore these things, like it will help you to do your main project easily. So make sure you will complete the task, and those who are not completed yesterday's task, complete it by today. That's it for today. We will wind up here. Thank you, Anadal. Thanks for joining. Make sure you complete the task. We will see you on tomorrow's session. Have a nice day.